come in.
Good evening and welcome to the Conservation Commission meeting of July 12th. We'll be having some Zoom and some, mostly in person, I hope, tonight. But we're trying to conform to the Governor Baker's rules and regulations for open meetings. Therefore, at 7 o'clock, any public comments? If not, do we have some minutes we want to get rid of?
There were a couple of big ones on that one, and I'm not sure if you all have received the ones that I've reviewed. I was just looking at them. There was this many notes, and a lot of it had to do with the South Street and Cedar Street lot, and then there was a lot of discussion about Garrett's Blaine on April 5th.
Okay.
That wasn't the one that you transcribed, was it?
No, I don't think so.
So,
I'll send out a long time ago.
unless I've sent them out, I'm not sure if I have.
Okay,
Maybe
all
we'll
right.
want to wait.
I think we'll hang on to them then.
All right, I apologize.
Any of them to have us approve?
I haven't, no.
Sorry, David, I'll send them to you.
But Diana mentioned that there were 4 sets of minutes, I guess, that we eventually have to review.
Yeah, that's February, April, and then the June ones. I haven't finished the June ones yet, so I'll get them out to you before the next meeting.
Yeah, you just sent a couple more, yeah. Was it the,
We got rid of all those, so these
Oh,
are
you
the
did?
last 2 that are left.
Yeah, we
Oh.
did
When
some.
okay.
I got through, we approved.
You sent
Yeah.
those out
Meeting
before I left?
February ones, I sent them out. I sent both of these out a long time ago.
Oh, what, probably.
Which one is the big one?
7-1.
I think it's February 1st.
February 1st.
First, Goodwin.
If you haven't received one of these, take one, pass them down. I know some of you have.
I have one.
I figured you did, and I
Yep.
figured Jeff does, but Jeff's not here anyway, so.
Jane, you got the booklets?
I do.
Good.
Do I have 7:05 on anybody's clock?
I got 7:03.
7:03, yeah.
Oh,
That's rounding error. Come on.
Spoken like an engineer.
by the time I finish reading, it'll be 7:05. Pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and Foxborough's Wetland Protection Bylaw, Chapter 267, the Conservation Commission will open a public meeting on Monday, July 12th, 2021, at 7:05 p.m. in the Gala Meeting Room, Foxborough Town Hall, 40 South Street, and via Zoom on a request for determination of applicability filed by Mill Street Preserve LP for the construction of a single-family home, utilities, driveway, and landscaping at number 1 Goodwin Drive, Assessor's Map 051, Parcel 002-001 in Foxborough within 100 feet of a wetland resource area. The application is available for public inspection in the Conservation Office. Mr. Gray.
Thank you.
Short version? No, I've got a big one here. Is it any different than this one?
No, it should be the exact same.
Okay, all right. I don't need more paper.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sure.
Jeff, are you gonna be able to see this?
Yep.
Okay, all right, just
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. For the record, my name's Cameron Gray. I'm here tonight to discuss the request for determination of applicability for our project at 1 Goodwin Drive. So 1 Goodwin Drive is lot number 1 in the Lawson's Farm subdivision. So the Lawson Farm subdivision was reviewed and approved by the commission, and an order of conditions was issued in August of 2016 and has since been extended to August 2021. So lot 1 is located on the western side of Goodwin Drive, which you guys can see there. It's at the intersection with Main Street. So when you turn into the subdivision right off Main Street, it'll be the first lot located on the right. This lot also used to contain an existing single-family home, which has since been removed. So we are proposing the construction of a 4-bedroom, single-family home, along with the associated utilities, driveway, and landscaping. A portion of that landscaping work will take place within the buffer zone to a wetland. So we believe the request for determination of applicability here is appropriate, since so much work taking place on the lot is underneath the filing for the roadway. And so per the order of conditions, the entire perimeter of the lot along the 25-foot no disturbed has had a silt sock laid across it and an orange construction fence. A spiral fence is scheduled to be installed once the buffer zone restoration work is completed. That buffer zone restoration work is currently ongoing. It's been going well. So the proposed home and the associated activities lie within the delineated work zone outlined in the order of conditions. So we don't believe any additional control will be necessary. So in terms of the landscaping work, we're talking about an additional 6,300 square feet of buffer zone alterations, other than what has been approved by the existing order of conditions. It should be noted where this work is taking place has been previously disturbed, as there was once a paddock and a barn, which has also been removed. So this request for determination is very similar to 2 other ones that we filed in the subdivision for lot 2, which is right next door to this one, and lot 30, which is directly across the road there. So at the time, the commission issued a negative determination. So we believe a negative determination will also be appropriate for this project due to the limited amount of work taking place other than what has already been approved by the existing order of conditions. And that concludes my presentation. I'd like to open up for any questions or comments.
Okay, I've been up to the site many times, and yes, that was a previously disturbed area, so
Yeah.
I don't see any problem with it. Do you have any problems, Jane?
I don't. This is more administrative than anything else. And when you mentioned that the extension expires in August 2021,
Yeah.
because of the tolling period, that is actually being extended for 462 days. Because,
okay.
Yeah, so we're going to have to start thinking about that.
Okay.
You might want to give Bill a heads up if it is something that, basically, everything's stopped on, for the emergency order
Oh,
on the
COVID, yeah.
March 10th, I think it was, and then it started up June 15th, and it comes to 462 days.
Okay.
I have an Excel spreadsheet program where we can figure these things out if you want, but I think we're going to be doing this with everything, and I'm sure Bill will want to be on top of all that stuff.
Okay, I'll make sure he knows.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board? Peter?
I wasn't part of this when it was initially being reviewed and everything. So between the 25-foot and 100-foot, what is the proposed? I've been down here for the other work.
Yeah.
Restoring, but what is the proposed restoration? Because I thought that was already done.
So I believe there's doing plantings and such out there, so it's to my understanding that it's been ongoing, and it's also being reviewed. I forget the firm that's reviewing it, though.
So you have a proposed split rail fence,
Yeah,
and they're gonna have little signs on it that they can't, go beyond or disturb anything, like we normally have worked with Bill.
I believe it will be signed, and then the split rail fence will be installed once that work is completed.
So they're not proposing to do any lawn work into the 100-foot area?
That's along the 25-foot no disturb. So the area that I'm talking about really is with that 6,300 square feet is in between the 25-foot no disturb and the 100-foot buffer there.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
I'm assuming that the 25-foot no activity zone has already been approved with the subdivision, perhaps, with the infrastructure plan?
I believe, I'll have to check, but I believe so.
I think it has,
Yeah,
yeah, so that's
I
kind of
think
like
so, yeah.
redundant, yeah.
That's where all the
Is that where the
serious
condition-
planting
Yeah.
and restoration was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was, well, they built the culvert and all, which was,
Right.
You did a great job. That's my
Yes.
poster child.
yes, okay, yes.
So going back again, you're not going to extend the lawn into the 100-foot area?
No, so we're talking about extending the lawn up to the 25-foot no disturb.
Yeah.
Or is that just something they're proposing?
Well, that's not the same thing as restoring the 100-foot area.
I didn't say we were restoring the 100-foot area, so where we're doing the buffer zone restoration is between that 25-foot no disturb and the edge of the wetlands.
This area was already disturbed, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yep,
It was a mess, still is.
Yeah.
yeah.
It looked
I think-
very nice.
Wasn't the barn right in that location?
Yeah, it was like the barn and the paddock behind the existing house was all in that area.
Yeah,
And then the horses would walk down to the stream that was
Yeah, they
there,
were
and it was
just-
all muck and mud, so
Yeah.
the restoration they've done looks really nice.
yes. You satisfied, David? Or you still got a question?
No, I just still confused. Is the lawn going all the way down to 25 foot versus the information saying that they're restoring the area between 100 and 25?
Well,
Restoring from the former use, I
Yeah,
understand
restore-
that.
yes.
But does that mean the lawn's going all the way down there?
I think so. Well, yeah,
Oh, you know, what's confusing is it says 100-foot buffer, BVW buffer zone, limit of work, install orange construction fence until Conservation Commission has issued order of conditions or negative determination, after which site will be treated by loam and seed.
see. So, yeah, the lawn is going to the split rail fence.
So between the 25 and the 100-foot buffer zone, the area that they will be turning into lawn is 6,300 square feet.
Yes.
I've just kind of switched around what you said. I see why you might get confused.
I think it's also clear to understand that right now, no other type of building activities can occur, or a shed or anything like that can occur within that 100-foot buffer. I think that's based on the previous approval. Restoration's one thing,
Yeah.
but moving a shed or, they got plenty of room in the back for a
Yeah.
swimming pool and all that, which we know is going to occur. So I'm just saying,
If they create a lawn there, then it would be considered an exempt minor activity if in the future they wanted to put a shed there or some such thing. That's basically exempt because a lawn would be considered
Be-
altered.
Yeah,
And they addressed a lot of the commission's concerns about restoring the wetlands in that area, which
Right,
were only
right.
intermittent
Which-
stream. and-
which has been done already, so.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
anything else, Dave?
No?
Okay. Jim?
No, I'm all set.
All set?
Jeff?
No, I'm all set.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion then?
I'll make a motion for a negative determination for this one Goodman. Yeah, one Goodman, map 051, parcel 002001.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
All right.
I,
Just,
What?
no opposition, no.
Okay.
One question, how far is phase one? How far is it?
So I know they're starting to get up to the back of the road, but I haven't had a chance to go out there lately. I think they're getting ready to start on phase 2.
So they're going to extend the
Yeah, but
cul-de-sac.
that back cul-de-sac way up behind those
Yeah.
existing houses there.
Before they do, could I get out there for a site visit with whomever is
Yep.
doing the work, so I can double check everything and make sure life is good?
Can I be included with it?
Oh,
Sure.
Moore Street, yeah.
Reason I ask is, I think there's a requirement that before phase 2 is allowed by the planning board, they have to turn the land over to us.
Okay.
So I think we need to have a discussion to see time-wise before
Okay.
they start operating and disturbing the phase 2 area.
Okay.
Good point.
Diana, do you have the notice for 31 Granite? I only saw the one notice.
Bring that folder.
I did not because it's been continued.
Yeah, but it's been.
Legal notice, yeah.
We need to read it, open it, and continue it.
Okey-doke. Let me run up and get that.
Okay.
Okay. So the agenda does not state that it's been continued, but it's been continued.
I know,
Yeah,
I
I
saw
gave
the
everybody
email
an
on that.
updated one.
Thank you.
Yep. And Diana, while we're waiting, did you get a response from Mr. Buckley about tomorrow?
He said his calendar is filled up, he would prefer Friday. So I don't know if you want to try to do that. He said, "My schedule got filled up since Jane and I spoke. I'd rather meet on Friday morning if that option is available."
Is it something that someone else can go and meet with them?
This is an old project that's across from 130 Moore Street, 131. They put it, I think it was approved to put in like some, not a mini mall, but a bunch of office buildings, combined office buildings. So, I don't know what the status is. I might be, let's see,
I can do it.
yeah, okay. I'll let you
Can
know.
Rich do it?
What? When?
Friday morning?
No, I'm in Maine as of
Okay.
Thursday.
Oh, how lucky.
Thank you. Okay, pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40 of Wetlands Protection Act and Foxborough's Wetland Protection Bylaw, Chapter 267, the Conservation Commission will open a public meeting on Monday, July 12th, 2021, at 7:10 PM in the Gala Meeting Room, Foxborough Town Hall, 40 South Street, and via Zoom on a notice of intent filed by Carl Brook Construction for the construction of a two-family home along with associated grading and utilities at 31 Granite Street, Assessors Map 78, Parcel 22. Portions of the proposed work lie within 100 feet of a resource area. The application is available for inspection at the Conservation Office. And I understand they have sent in a request for continuance until July 26. So, somebody want to make a motion? to continue.
I'll make a motion to continue 31 Granite Street, map 78, parcel 22, notice of intent, number 157-TBD.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? And I understand the reasoning is they're still working with the Board of Health on the septic system, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you. It's been 7:15. We have a continued filing for 130 Moore Street. Are they coming in
Good
person, or is it going to be
They're up
on
there.
Zoom?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Chairman. This is Scott Goddard from Goddard Consulting, representing the applicant.
And Matthew Watsky is counsel representing the applicant.
Good evening.
And Stephen David, who is the applicant, is also on the line via Zoom as well. So you have three of us.
Right.
Can you hear me okay?
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Why don't I give a very brief intro and then I
Sure.
can hand off to Scott.
Great.
It's good to see you all again. It's been a long time since I was there in person. Now that we're getting past the COVID mess, it's good to see people starting to meet in person again. Maybe next time I'll be there too. It's been a while since this project was in front of you. I thought I'd give a quick update and then I'm going to hand off to Scott. We're well aware that the commission has its usual rule that you need materials submitted well in advance of a hearing. And we're not expecting you to get into the issues on this submittal substantively tonight, but we'd like to make a quick presentation, explain what the materials show that you have. And if you have questions, we'll be able to address it, and then we'll certainly continue to the next meeting. So, quick reminder: this project on Moore Street, we previously went through a series of meetings with the commission on an ANRAD application and had an ORAD issued. That ORAD approved all of the resource areas other than riverfront area. So the understanding that we had at the time was that with all the rest of the resource areas shown and defined on the plan, that we would proceed with the development of a plan to improve the property, build on the property, and we would deal with the riverfront area issues in this notice of intent filing. The position that we've taken up to date is that there is no riverfront area because the property has the benefit of a historic mills complex exemption. We still believe that that's the case, but the way we concluded the ANRAD, ORAD issues was with the commission and with the help of your agent, Jane Sears-Pierce, who noted that really where we were anticipating doing work was already a significantly disturbed area within what could be viewed as riverfront area if there was no exemption. And so it would be likely approvable under the work within previously disturbed riverfront area rules. So what we've done with this, with the additional materials that were submitted to you, and my apologies that it wasn't included in the original notice of intent, a little bit of a loss of institutional knowledge with Tim Rebula having left Goddard and headed off. We needed to discuss things a bit and refocus. The additional submittals that you've gotten for tonight and that Scott will walk you through go through the details of the riverfront regulations and explain how what's proposed complies with those standards, as well as all the rest of the regulatory standards under the Commission's bylaw rules and the Wetlands Protection Act. So you've got no alteration of boarding vegetated wetland or other resource areas like that. You've got BLSF that's been addressed. You have buffer zone work. You've got the stormwater having been managed, and the key question then is, do we or do we not meet the standards, assuming that they apply for work in riverfront area? And as I've had Goddard Consulting expressed in its submittal letter, if we get an order of conditions with conditions that approve the project and that the developer, the applicant can accept, then we would also accept the determination within that order of conditions that it's riverfront area, but the project is permissible. And then when that order goes into effect, that'll be binding on everybody for as long as that order's in effect. So with that, I'm going to hand off to Scott. Scott, go ahead and.
Yeah, no, Matt did a great job summarizing where we're at. I agree wholeheartedly with his position. And in addition to briefly presenting the new information that was submitted with respect to riverfront area compliance, I think the other thing would be helpful to produce this evening would be a time and date that the commission may want to do a site walk on the property as well. So am I able to share my screen? Is that something that's permissible?
Yes.
Yes, yep.
Perfect. Okay, so I trust you can see all that?
Yep.
Yep.
So this is a colored up rendition of the site plan that was submitted to you with the addition of the supplemental information of showing riverfront. So if we make a presumption that out of the spillway down here, along this edge, cutting through the pond and then discharging off the site is riverfront, that would place a 100-foot and 200-foot riverfront zone with these green lines cutting through the site. The portion of the site that has been considered previously developed is enveloped, enveloped by this area that is shown there in blue. Right here, I'll outline more or less the limit of work. And in addition to that, there's a small fringe right down here on this slope. I have another little site plan here. This plan here shows it better. That is within the supplemental information that was given to you. Everything in color here is work proposed within the riverfront area and or outside of the limit of work, also within the riverfront area. So our bounded limits of work is this dash dot line. So everything in yellow would be redeveloped. The area in red here would be redeveloped, and this zone closest to the river in green is the area that's listed as previously developed, but that we propose for restoration. So what happens here, as far as we look at the 10.585 redevelopment standards, there's a couple things going on. One is that we're focusing on restoring the area closest to the riverfront. And so that's why our restoration area is right up against the BVW edge on this fill slope. We've included a planting and vegetation plan. We can also see that the remaining of the zone, that's this red zone, which is within the inner riparian zone, that's all stormwater management, which is also an improvement over existing conditions and doubling up with the consideration that stormwater is exempt from riverfront area calculations in terms of 10% and all that good stuff. So we effectively create an entirely naturalized zone that's existing developed within inner riparian zone. And then within the outer riparian zone, we still have additional stormwater management down here to the east of the building. And in addition, this zone way over here to the south of the parking lot is also related to stormwater management. The only zone that would now be proposed impervious surfaces, which would be degraded surfaces under the new conditions, is outlined by the parking lot, which is here, and the building, which is here. So the addition of those two buildings makes up about, those two impervious features make up about half of the riverfront area, and all furthest away from the wetland resource area edge and boundaries. And the areas closest have the stormwater management features and riverfront restoration areas. So the report outlines the numbers and details a little bit further than that, but big picture, that meets all the criteria for riverfront redevelopment and satisfies 310 CMR 10.58 were we to treat this as riverfront. So that's what the information you have contains for supplemental information. As Matt said, we've already demonstrated compliance with stormwater management, with BLSF floodplain modifications, and for work within the buffer zone. Noting here also that all the work within the 25-foot buffer zone to wetlands is preserved with the exception of the area that's being restored. So at the end, we also double up with not only restoring previously developed riverfront area, but we also end up restoring that inner buffer zone to BVW. So I think that's probably appropriate for the extent of the needed presentation for this evening. And I'll put back up the overall site plan for any further discussion. And like I said, I think it'd be helpful if we also schedule a site walk.
I agree with the sidewalk 100%. I mean, I could understand what you were saying, but I was having a heck of a time following that cursor around. So I need to look at the site and a valid set of plans before I make any decisions on that. I don't know if anybody else was able to follow the cursor when you were talking about the different areas or not. Could you see it, the cursor?
Somewhat.
Somewhat, yeah, but it's very confusing. That's the terrible thing about Zoom meetings. We don't have a plan to really look at, so. I would personally reserve any judgment until after the site walk.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I can bring the plans, we can go through it on the ground.
That's a great idea.
It was
If
a
the
recent
commissioners
email
are
that they were
willing-
sending hard copies of the
Yeah.
set of revised plans.
Have they
That
arrived yet?
just- No, that was today.
Yeah.
Just got this today, so I presume they're mailing out the
After
hard
lunch.
copies.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah, hard copies have been put in the mail, digital copies were sent around today.
Okay. Any comments from the presentation thus far? Shall we,
Technicality.
Peter?
Jane brought up a technicality that the information submitted was not in conformance with the.
Yes, I realize that.
That's,
So,
That's-
Attorney Watsky, yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah,
I think
that's,
spoke to that point, yeah.
We understand that, and that will compromise the ability to have a productive conversation about it, but I wanted to at least verbally introduce the concepts to you so you know what you're getting in your packages, and it will help also, I think, when we have something to look at the site walk.
So a quick question. You talked about how it's a previously disturbed area pursuant to mill work that was done a long time ago. Is there any historical record of, or do you have any evidence of the extent of what work and what the area looked like during this time when it was previously disturbed?
Yeah, that was all documented extensively in the ANRAD, ORAD process.
That's right. Yeah, there's a number of aerial photographs that you can look at that in the RDA submittal form that was done several months back.
so much.
And we've included in this packet some current day photographs that there is ongoing activity on this site, effectively like a contractor yard.
did you get that, Peter? Okay. Dave, anything else right now?
Do we want to set up a site meeting?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I would just, if anybody's got any questions now.
We can do it Friday,
Yeah,
16th?
yeah. Rebecca, any questions?
Not at the moment.
Okay, Rich?
Nope.
For Tim. Jeff?
Nope, I'm good. I just want to get the site walk out so we get out there and see it.
Okay, Friday morning, anybody can make Friday morning? I know Rich said you can't, but,
What time?
I can do before noon. That's
8
fine.
o'clock?
I can get up that early, I think.
8 o'clock?
Does 8 work? Or is that too early?
I'm teasing him. No.
I could go at about 10:30
Make it.
and later.
10 would be good.
So probably make 10.
Okay. Peter? 10? David?
No problem. Jim?
Is that too late for you?
I'll try to make it work. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Rebecca?
Works for me.
10 a.m.?
Is that the same morning you What's it?
Yeah, I'll go across the street. Yeah, we can go across the street from that one.
Okay.
Okay. All right, 10 a.m. Friday?
That sounds perfect. We'll see you there, and barring any further discussion, we'd request a continuation to the next meeting.
All right. Somebody want to make a motion for continuation?
I'll make a motion for continuation of 130 Morris Street, NOI 157-605.
July
Till
26th.
July, is it 26 or 27?
26.
26?
26.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? We'll see you then on Friday at 10.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Have a good evening, folks. Thank you.
Thank you.
So do you want me to,
Post it, please.
yeah, do you want to meet with Buckley before or after?
Ask him how long it's going to take, and then we can do it after. Or I can get there at, say, 9:30 if Phil can be there earlier.
I could be there too if you want.
Okay. Yeah,
And me.
yes, of course.
So do you, that at 9:30 and then across the street at 10:30?
Yep,
Or 10?
10.
10, okay.
So, all right. And 16 Garrett's Blaine Road has requested a continuance until August 9th. So somebody want to make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to continue 16 Garnett Blaine Road, map 12, page 48, NOI F2, 2001-1, 2021-1.
Second it.
A discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Have we heard from our friend on Ridge Road?
Not that I know.
No, we got the green card came back, but they don't, it's the way that during COVID, the post office is the postman is signing the green cards
Okay.
and delivering it to the house, so,
To the house or the mailbox, do you know?
well, to the, wherever they put their mail.
Okay, good. Yeah.
But the green card represents that they've handed it to that person.
Yeah.
The postman, they all sign it, it just says COVID. That's how all the we've been paying $8 for these things to get signed by the
So we
postman.
don't
It
know if
says they
he's
That has no-
received it or not then.
Yeah.
Has no
But at
effect.
least we know that it was in his mailbox, because
Yeah.
I could not put the notice
Yes.
in the mailbox when we went there last week.
Okay,
And the wind and rain might have washed it away from the garage, but
yeah, all right,
I have not heard from him.
all right.
Have we heard from anybody on the reservoir?
No.
What it looks like?
No?
No, the NRRC wasn't even aware of it, so.
Now, the thing about this is, the property owner has lived there for a long time, and the person who lived in that house has called me in the past and said something about how he had done something like, and received a cease and desist in the past. And what could he do there? And, you know, I talked to him for quite a while, but it was a long time ago. So the same person is living there. And it's not clear to me what he's done, whether he's tried to restore grass that was already there. I don't know, because I need his permission to go onto the property.
With all this rain, I'm pretty sure that some of that might wash
Yes,
down in there.
yeah, I'm sure that the reservoir is a little bit browner.
It's the time when Rich needs a drone.
I'll put that on my shopping list.
What about, I know it's not on the agenda, but I see this from Fairway Lane. You want to amend?
That came in today as an application, so that would be for the next meeting.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that has, I did a little research on that because the new property owner has been asking me how to proceed. And you all gave the the developer, Jim Lenahan,
The bigger house.
a positive determination, at which time Judy said
Those it's got-
that once the property is sold,
Yeah,
he would be able to, the new owner would be able to file something. Unfortunately, I was trying to be a little more, try to shorten the order's conditions. So I was not as in-depth as I usually am
Foundations.
in this one. But basically, what I normally would put, any changes, including the submittal of additional information, must be submitted to the commission with a cover letter and filing fee for their approval prior to implementation, and also send a copy to the DEP, and after their review, the commission will decide whether it was insignificant, amendment was needed, or new notice of intent filing. But, I think it would be a good idea to legally notice this in the paper and let certain abutters who have been opposed to it know about it.
yeah.
And,
We've
Yeah.
got time to get it noticed in the,
yeah, I just want to make sure it's done properly.
Yeah.
We do have time if he brings it in tomorrow in the morning. If he doesn't, Diana says they're really strict about putting the legal notice in at the
Yeah.
paper nowadays. If he doesn't, I'm not sure how to proceed.
Okay,
But
well-
when I was there, checking on the tree cutting operation and such, I did notice that the small depression that I thought smelled like it might be a vernal pool, but couldn't prove it when we went through the delineation, is in fact a little vernal pool. It had all three obligate species. It had spotted salamander egg masses, wood frog egg masses, and fairy shrimp.
oh,
So that's another piece of information that will need to be taken into consideration. Normally 25 feet from a BVW is what the bylaw requires, but it will also require 100 feet of the area that has not been disturbed. Of course, you know, there was, I think you did cut additional area up to the 100-foot,
yeah.
because you have no jurisdiction in that. So that's all going to be an interesting thing to deal with.
I think, well, notify him that we needed to be posted.
I have.
Okay.
I have. He's been asking me about it. I sent him an email. And I
Okay,
told him he has to get it to us
by tomorrow morning.
by tomorrow. I
Okay.
said tomorrow. I don't know if I said morning, because I don't know if I knew at the time how strict they are.
Yeah.
Diana's tried begging and pleading, but what is it, a new person?
No, it's,
there?
when they used to have the Foxborough reporter here, I could do it up to Wednesday, but now that everything's in Attleboro, if I ask for anything past Tuesday morning, they say, no, it's done,
Okay.
it's, it's set up or whatever, they can't put anything else in.
Okay,
So that vernal pool was on the other side of that stone wall, right?
It was at,
If I recall.
I think it's another site walk that we need to take.
yeah, it was at the bottom of the hill, and it looked like it maybe had been dug in the past, or it could have been a natural depression.
And when were out there, we weren't too sure. We didn't
Yeah, I was
quite
saying it
find-
looks like one, but I couldn't find evidence. Well,
So is this within?
lo and behold, I went there this spring and it had everything.
So is this adjacent to the red area that he's got denoted here?
I have no idea at this point, because I just received that and I haven't
Right.
really looked at it closely yet.
Okay,
Because I remember walking that and.
Oh, yeah,
It looked very suspicious.
yeah.
I did warn him about it, and I said, it'll be a great place for your children to play. But I didn't say that it can't be, you won't be able to alter an area.
It's playing in the swamp, is what you meant. It's like-
Yeah, well, no, it is pretty fun for little kids to play with pollywogs and stuff, so we'll have to, I'll do my dog and pony show on that one.
So if it's not certified,
We can protect it as though it is certified, it is certifiable. I mean, I could
because you
submit
found
it,
the evidence.
yeah, I could submit it to avoid that dirty word, and maybe I will, but I thought the area next to it's already altered because it was just 25 feet in that location, I think.
Okay.
Whatever,
Yep.
whatever.
Okay, I want to go back to Granite Street for a moment, since they requested continuance for Board of Health.
Yep.
Could you talk to the Board of Health and see if there any reason why the septic system cannot be put in front of the house? Maybe, since it's a tear down anyway? I was
Yeah,
gonna
seems
say-
to me they're gonna have to comply with the new building requirement, which is 150 feet or 100 feet or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but if they could probably shove the house back a little bit and put the septic in the front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask them tonight anyway, but since they continue it,
It's a duplex,
yeah, they're
it's a big one,
tearing down a single and putting in a duplex.
yeah. Unfortunately, that zone allows 2 families.
Yeah, but the water table there is extremely high.
It's not currently a two-family?
You could put a duplex
No.
in it, just
What's that?
totally unbalances the next.
No, no.
Yeah.
Well, if it looks good. There's another one right here next to it, right?
I don't know.
Anything else?
I was gonna tell you some things. Oh, yeah.
It's right there.
I was in contact, I was contacted actually by someone from the
It's just like we have to
Massachusetts
go underneath pavement.
Zoo Society or something like that, the group of zoos, like Franklin Park Zoo and everything.
Oh.
They do a lot of turtle head starting programs for rare turtles. And the Bristol County Aggie does a lot of this work too. And I don't remember why, Julie Lisk is the person who called me. I don't remember why. But we were talking about a certain population of rare turtles in town that have been dwindling, because I've been keeping an eye on them, and I begged for their help to find, the critters. So we had a couple of, we geeks went out and we walked up the river and wading in our hip waders and nets. Didn't find anything, very early spring. We did end up finding one female, and my good friend Tim, the Turtle Man, who lives in Plainville and does work with the Wellfleet Audubon, had an extra radio transmitter, because I wanted to see where they're spending their time, whether they're going to, where they're hibernating and estivating, whatever. So he donated it, and he's been going out and looking for it to see where she's going. And in the meantime, they encouraged me to try and find a nest. And I believe I did find a nest, and I covered it really sneaky-like with some, 1-inch or half-inch mesh. I made it look like it wasn't even there, because it's an area that could have been vandalized. And on Wednesday morning, I've been informed that they're going to go down, the zoo people, they're going to go down, they're going to dig it up. They have Mass Natural Heritage is involved in this as well. They're going to dig up the nest, and they are going to raise incubate the eggs. And then they're going to, I'm assuming they're going to head start the turtles, because mortality rates for some of these long-lived turtles are very high. So if any of you would like to join us on Wednesday at 8 a.m. at the place I told you earlier, which is very secret. I've also told one of the neighbors. I was down there this morning quickly, and he was running in the rain, and I said, bring your kids if you want to see it. So I think it's going to be interesting, because you got to be very careful that you don't turn the eggs at all. You have to make a little mark on the top and everything. So I was told they were going to do this, and I'm not opposed to it, because the chances of their survival is pretty low. And if they can head start them in a school or something and then let them go, that'd be great, because the population is really dwindling. Unfortunately, our little friend that we're following was just found by Tim just before I went on vacation. And she was hanging out in between a neighbor, a lawn of a small subdivision, and a playing field on conservation land.
Oh.
And one of the highest reasons for mortality, one of the worst mortality reasons, however you want to put it, is from mowing. So I'm thinking some sort of a mowing management plan. And that's why I stopped him. I said, do you live at that house? He says, no. He's my next door neighbor. I said, would you please tell them to keep an eye out when they're mowing?
They're
So,
mowing by us too on the playing field, right?
yeah, I'm not going to be popular, but I'm going to try and modify the mowing over there. Because it is pretty good.
If for some reason it gets postponed for Wednesday, I will be back
I
Wednesday night, so.
Okay, I suspect unless there's real downpour, And even then, they're tough. They're, they're out in all kinds of horrible conditions, so I suspect it will happen. We'll see. I'll let you know if it's changed. But if anyone wants to join me, just send me an email or call me and I'll tell you where to meet.
Okay.
We, I participated in the Head Start program as like a volunteer within the schools with Fish and Wildlife at that time. And I think we were doing the
Red-bellied sliders? Yeah.
turtles. And the kids were, watching them grow in these tanks. And then they actually participated in going out and releasing them.
Oh,
And the Fish and Wildlife notified whoever was involved to, just be there as they get released.
oh,
So it's rather,
Yeah.
very, very interesting.
yeah.
It's a great way to brainwash the kids when they're young, too. My
Make them
little,
aware. We're making them aware. We're not brainwashing.
my intern, Marissa, from a couple of years ago, went to Bristol Aggie, and they were doing the Head Starts there, and it's pretty exciting, I guess. The kids really get involved. How are you going to protect something if you don't know about it and learn to love it and think it's cool? So... and that neighbor also asked me if I could do a small lunch and learn with his daughters, and I'm like, well, sure.
Turn into a little conservation officer.
Brainwashing with Jane. I said,
Brainwashing.
that's what I call it, but no. No, kids get pretty excited about that stuff if they're exposed to it.
All right. Anything else? Do you hear a motion?
Make a motion to close the meeting?
Do you hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Jeff, gotta get that aye from you. Thank you.